Let's get it, man. Yo. Let's go. Got it going. Where the big dogs at? Come on in. Come on in. So should the Vikings make a trade? Now we talk about improvements that need to be made. More depth, more weapons at certain positions. And FMG Laro, hopefully we don't come out flat this Sunday. FMG Laro, heavy. No time to come out flat. No time to come out lackadaisical. No time to come out nonchalant, unprepared. The Vikings must come in focused and zoned in. Heavy. Much appreciated, FMG Laro. Let's get it. Heavy facts. The Vikings must come into Sunday's game zoned in. No questions, no ifs, ands, buts about it. That's what it is. Once again, them soft Cardinals ain't no slouch. Skull, man. But should the Vikings make a trade before the deadline? They could use some more weapons at certain positions, right? Now, which position is more important? Has more of a need, right? For an addition. Now, everyone's talking about OBJ possibly coming to the Vikings, which I would love, which majority of fans would love, right? You talk about a true number 2 receiver. Seems like Adam Thielen may be on a decline, right? KJ Osborne not getting as much production as everyone thought. You know, no disrespect, but we're talking facts, what we've seen through the season, right? The production or lack of production through the season thus far. So bringing in a guy like OBJ or just another receiver, a good solid receiver, to be a true number 2, if Thielen or Osborne doesn't step up, could be good for the Vikings. They could definitely use another weapon at receiver. Especially since Jalen Reagor is strictly a special teamer, strictly a punt returner, right? He can make some plays here and there, but he's not a lineup, every down, run nice routes, crisp receiver, correct? Unless he proves it and, you know, shows different. But otherwise, what else can you go on? He's strictly a punt returner at this point in the season. Bottom line. So the wide receiver position is definitely a position that the Vikings can look at before the trade deadline, bringing someone in, right? Getting more depth, more help at that spot. Heavy. Now you talk, if you're in the chat, like it up. Heavy. Much appreciated. You in the chat, like it up. Let's get it. Now you talk about the cornerback position possibly, right? Could look at the cornerback position. So there's a couple corners out there, right? They could possibly make a trade for. You know what I'm saying? Good to get a good deal with. Could come in and contribute right away. Now the cornerbacks, is it a bigger need than the receiver or D-line? Maybe not, because we all thought it was at the beginning of the season, right? Or before the season. Everyone questioned the Vikings' DB depth, skills, etc. But Cam Dantzler, Pat P, they're playing much better football. They've improved a lot. They've been solid corners at their position, right? So they might not have to rush to get a cornerback. Now you talk about replacing Chandon Sullivan, whom I've talked about previously. Bringing in a possible replacement for him. It could work out. It might need to be done. Because he hasn't shown much improvement. He hasn't lived up to expectations. really hasn't done his job, what they brung him in to do, right? He hasn't reached that level yet. We talked about his PFF grade, number of interceptions, how he gets beat, weak point on the in the secondary. So it's definitely a question at DB, should they bring someone in? You dig me? Then you look at the D-line, the trenches, right? You know, people arguing, should they shoot for Sue or another interior D lineman? It wouldn't hurt. But if they can play like they played against Miami, produce like they did, apply pressure week in, week out like they did against Miami, the D-line won't be an issue. And with the D-line getting pressure, the cornerbacks can play better football. That helps the cornerbacks out, right? Gives them less time in coverage. Gives them the ability to run around and make plays, right? Off of bad throws due to pressure, etc. So if the D-line can continue to step up and play well, they really don't have to go for a D-lineman in free agency unless they just want to solidify that front even more, right? The trenches where games are really won. So the Vikings have a lot of options, but I definitely want to see some move done before the trade line, whether it's receiver, cornerback, D-lineman, etc. Bring someone in, bring more talent in to help this team, right? Because you can never have enough talent, enough depth. Bottom line. You in the chat, like it up. Much appreciated. Heavy. See what we got here. I don't think any trades coming. OBS is FA. Hookman, maybe not. Their cap space is something to talk about as well. It's tough when they're below the cap, behind the cap like the Vikings are, right? I think if we can get more pressure, we will be fine. Facts. As long as the pressure is there in that defense, the Vikings will be okay. As long as they keep getting production out of Z Smith, D Hunt, Patrick Jones, they'll be all right. DJ Wanham, when he gets back, Miami was down both tackles, so I got to see them do to a healthy O-line. Yeah, they still did a good job, though. They might have had injuries, but that was a solid performance, especially from Z Smith, right? I don't have a problem with the trade, but the thing is we need as much money as we can save for JJ. Don't forget his contract is coming heavy. Good points. As far as the D-line, if they can continue to keep that up, that performance up, Z Smith is balling out of control. He's an animal out there. D Hunt is coming along. Patrick Jones, DJ Wanham, the interior front, Dalvin Tomlinson, right? Harrison Phillips, FMG, Z went all fire, heavy. Sound analysis is always EJ Facts, Skull, Hookman, Skull, baby, heavy. You in the chat, like it up, much appreciated. Let's get it. You got to talk about cap space as well. See, most of it is cap space when you talk about the Vikings making trades, right? Making trades or the ability to make a trade or inability to due to cap space or lack of cap space, right? See, that's when the big contracts come. You look at certain players getting all this money, i.e. Kirk Cousins. So now you have all your money tied up. And J.J. Jetta's contract is coming up, so they have to save some money as well. But some say the cap is a myth, right? Some say it's ways to get around the cap, which is true. The Vikings have shown that, right? So I'm sure it's ways to get things done if they want to get them done. Bottom line. Kirk needs to take a pay cut. Facts. A few players maybe need to take a pay cut, right? Not just Kirk. Maybe D Cook. Maybe Thielen. You dig me? So it's a lot of things to go around. A lot of options to weigh. Now, if Kirk keeps winning, they make the deep playoff run, you know, maybe things will change. It'll be a different tune. But, you know, they need to free up some space, whether it's players taking pay cuts, etc. Something needs to happen. But once again, will the Vikings make a trade before the deadline? I would like to see them get a receiver in or possibly a cornerback for that slot corner position. You dig me? Yes, cap space is an issue, but it's ways to work around it. We've seen that previously. So that's a big question for the Vikings, man. Solid roster right now, but improvements can be made. Additions can come in. and help this team right away. In some areas, it's clear to see, it's obvious. They need more depth, man. Now, this all comes down to if guys step up or not. Now, if Thielen and Osborne can step up their game, produce more, then you don't have to talk about bringing in a receiver, right? Same as the DBs, Chandon Sullivan. They can get Booth healthy. If he can contribute, a Caleb Evans, then they're in a good position. If the D-line can keep playing well against elite offensive linemen, they're in a solid position. You dig me? They can keep moving forward with the season. But we shall see, man. At the end of the day, it's going to be how do the players do? How do they look after this bye week, right? They got the Cardinals coming up. The soft Cardinals. You'll see a lot this week. Have players progress? Have they gotten better? Who's really the dogs on the field? But at some point in time, teams are going to take J.J. Jettas away, and another receiver will have to step up. That's just the NFL. That's the league. Especially when they accumulate more film of the Vikings. More schemes come in, right? They figure out more ways to stop certain players. So that's why they must get Cook involved more early. Tight end play must improve early. Thielen, Osborne must step up early. The further you get into the season, the more difficult it gets. They got schemes in plan, certain plays, coverages, etc. Teams trying to expose your weaknesses. That's how the NFL is, right? Adjustments. Who outcoaches who? Who game plans better? That's it, man. Bottom line, coaching is the big deal. Agreed, someone needs to step up. We lost two last year. We'll beat them, though. It's offense carries. We can get 3 takeaways. Yeah, somebody got to step up, man. And the soft Cardinals, yeah, Vikings can definitely handle business at home. But they can't take them lightly. They must get pressure on Kyler Murray, create turnovers. It's ways you can beat every team in the league, even the Bills, even the Chiefs, the Eagles. Any team can be beaten, man, on any day, dog. Heavy. The Vikings have the skill. They have the roster, right? The coaches, etc. New regime, new energy. Now they just got to go out and perform week in, week out. So that's what it's about, man. Soft Cardinals this week. NFC could be another great NFC win, right? Convincing win, heavy. Now we getting down the stretch. Now you're really going to see what this team is about. How good they are or not. But time will tell. Got some tough games coming up. No slouches. Cowboys, Bills, dig me? Jets, Giants. You know, even the Skins might not be a slouch. Long season, man. But the Vikings are more than capable of making a Super Bowl run. I stand on that heavy. So that's my take, my opinion on it. Will the Vikings make a trade before the deadline? We so she. Much appreciated once again. If you in the chat, like it up. Let me know your feedback in the comments. Heavy, let's get to it, man. Big skull here. I love us to get into Buffalo with the win. Facts. They can go in. If they can go in Buffalo, come out with a victory, a big victory. Man, not only a big win, a confidence booster, right? Team morale, all that. Heavy. They can beat the Bills. Why can't they beat the Bills, man? Bottom line. The Bills can be beaten as well. Nobody's scared of the Bills, dog. Skull here. That's my take, my opinion on it. I'll holler at y'all later. Oh, me. Oh, me. I ain't got no picture, you hear me? Skull. Like that.